Hello, Libra. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. So great to see you. And I'm really excited to look at all of the energy and information that's coming through for the month of July. I was really receiving so many messages before beginning today that I had to try my best to kind of consolidate them into just a few. It ended up being like 5 major areas here, but we'll talk about it in just a moment. So I wanted to get started a couple minutes early to allow for ample time during the channeled messages to relay all of that information. There is so much, again, exciting stuff that's coming through. I feel like your sign has a lot of choice about where to take the energy. Just to give you a little preview of what we'll be talking about in a minute, one of the things that I saw myself doing in the meditation and dreams as well was kind of playing with a tower energy. And it showed me that you really have the ability to mold things this month. And there's a lot of attention going in your direction. So we'll talk about that and what you can do with these opportunities and perhaps challenges that are coming through. So first and foremost, let me give you a proper introduction. My name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is a reading for the sign of Libra. We'll be looking at July 2020, but because I do these live, 3 weeks before the sign or before the month begins, as we look at the past and the deep past, there's going to be relevant messages. So it really spans out about 6 weeks or so. And I think that'll be really helpful for you. It gives you a little bit of extra. And I answered this already in chat before I got started, but you can use this for your sun, your rising, your moon, or even your Venus. And if you know more parts of your chart, you can, of course, look at this with respect to that. You can also watch on behalf of people that you care about in your life. There are 4 major parts to my readings. I begin with pure psychic information. And the way that I work as a sort of channel and intuitive is I set up all the times on the calendar that I'm going to do the readings. And the night before, I set the intention to kind of be open to messages. So I receive some of them through dreams. And then before I do the reading, I select a deck of cards and I begin to meditate. And then I get additional messages there. We've got a lot of psychic information to talk about. So that'll be the first portion, the channeled messages. Then I use the cards and we'll take a look then at a traditional Celtic Cross plus an expanded forecast that looks at health, wealth, love, and destiny, looking at high points, looking at potential blocks, and then those expanded areas as well. And then we'll do a quick review of everything then that we just looked at. And the final part of this reading consists of soul energy or soul path work, where this month I've been focusing on finding peace or healing. And we look at past, present, and future influences with respect to that. But also there'll be some additional messages that I'll be tuning into for Libra specifically. And then I'm going to be using a singing bowl for a sound bath for all of you to help integrate what we've done along with a meditation. So this is pretty comprehensive. And I think that you'll get a lot out of this. And I'd like to get started here. Before I do that, 2 quick notes. I'd like to welcome my moderators, Ryan and Maria. You've seen them active here answering some of your questions. Couldn't do it without you guys. I appreciate your help. And thank you also for the super sticker that I just got. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. If you'd like to support the channel, an easy way to do it is to click on the super chat, super sticker area. It's this little $ next to the emojis. Through that, you can send me like a rainbow, a unicorn, or some sort of fun message. And what it does is it helps me continue to buy supplies. In particular, I have a new singing bowl here that's brought in part by those contributions and also by the channel members. So there's also a join area where you can give back if you'd like to on a monthly basis. All right. We'll talk more later about different ways to get in touch and all of that. But for here and for now, I'd like to get started because, like I said, there's a lot to talk about. All right, let's go to the first thing that I picked up on in dreams and meditation. So there was a feeling that, I don't know if you've ever had that feeling where you're sort of, at work or, maybe in line somewhere, but you just know that people are watching you. I definitely got the feeling that all eyes are on you this month, Libra. And with this attention, of course, it's a good thing. Libra is a sign that likes to sort of be out there. It's a social butterfly, expressive sort of energy. But there's also some responsibility with the visibility. So there's a level of scrutiny that you'll probably be more apt to be in the energy of. So you'll have to just kind of be careful and be willing to put the extra attention into quality assurance and making sure that you follow policies and things like that. The exposure could be good because this platform could be something where you could bring attention to things that you care about as well. So first message, all eyes are on you. Be mindful of scrutiny. Also be maybe excited, or you can embrace the exposure and the platform, and you could do something positive with it. When you look at like celebrities or public figures, sometimes they'll use that energy to affect change or things like that. You could have that possibility this month. So the second thing that came with this, and it kind of stems out of the scrutiny, is that there's no room to take shortcuts. And the best way that I could have put the word audit or edit here, because there's a little bit of both that's going to be happening here, but really focus on quality control, because if you've taken a shortcut, there's a high likelihood, because of the scrutiny that we talked about here, that shortcut will come to the light of day, and you'll have to answer for it. So for anything that you do that you feel like you can or should take some sort of a shortcut, just make sure that you're not sacrificing quality for that it's maybe some other sort of efficiency is fine. You can be efficient, but you shouldn't cut corners where it matters, particularly for safety or quality. Now, the other part of it, and this was kind of fun, I flashed to this image that kind of reminded me of someone working undercover, like a private investigator. And what I saw with this, or the way that I intuited it, is that you want to stay one step ahead, and that would be sort of by doing research. What's going on out there? Also by being empathetic and putting yourself in the shoes of somebody else, metaphorically speaking. So if you're having challenges in your life, if you're going to have a difficult conversation, if you're just trying to figure out how to make things work, one of the ways that you can do that is by maybe tapping into people that are already going through this and talking to them. Really get a feel for what's going on. Read, consume, digest basically as much research or information that you can. And that research is going to pay off. So it will either bring you some sort of a keen insight on something that you need to fix, and we'll talk about that in a second, or it might just help you understand that you're on the right path. But it does feel like it's a good time to check in and really make sure that you've understood things correctly and that you're doing things right. So there is a lot of energy around process, doing the right thing, and I think that that's really important here. Apollo just joined in the background. So let's go on to the next message, and I'll bring all of these together here in a second. So then I focused almost kind of like in a medical intuitive way on the heart and the structure of the heart, which isn't something that I normally do. And what I felt was that there would be something this month that would put your heart to the test. So symbolically, this could be you falling in love. This could be using the energy and passion and sort of creative energy that flows through you to do something really cool. So activating heart space. But speaking more on sort of for those of you that might have an existing heart problem or a history of heart health challenges, you want to look at making sure that you're not stressing it out. I was specifically looking at like the aorta and even the chambers of the heart. So it felt like something this month was just putting unnecessary stress. Talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but if there's something in your family history that would make sense for that, it's a very specific message, then obviously talk to a doctor. For the rest of you, when I look at the heart, obviously heart health is important, and then using that passionate energy in all that you do is going to be important. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, heal the heart space. It's a good message, but there was actually some physical pieces for some of you to pay attention to. Now for the fun part, and it was really weird, but this is for those of you that are artists, creative, or trying to make a change in your life. I kind of flash back to when I was in arts, like back in high school or something. I was in art class, and I remember the teacher that I was working with even, but what I was building was the tower, literally like the tower in tarot. But the first time I did it, it was bigger than life, and it overwhelmed me. The next time that I did it, like the shape didn't make me happy. And then I found that I was kind of scrunching it in, doing this, and it was like 3 or 4 iterations before I found the right structure. And the interesting thing about the Tower card is it often shows that the foundation needs to be stronger, or that you need to try something different in a different approach or whatever, a different way of thinking about it. So for many of you, I want you to playfully work with it. I couldn't tell, like sometimes it looked like it was paper, sometimes it was clay, but I was molding the tower. I had the power over how big it was, how small it was, what shape it had, how far it reached. And there was something very empowering about that. And if you can playfully go into the energy of the tower, that's going to be helpful. but I was actually staying after class. The next class was coming in. So there's overtime. There's a little bit of extra work that's going to be necessary. So if you are a writer, a choreographer, a painter, a sculptor, or if you're trying to do something with your hands, even like building a house or building something figuratively, a business, you may not hit it right out of the park the first time. You might have to try 2 or 3 back and forth approaches. For some of you, you might even miss the first time, might fail a couple of times. It's when you go there that final time and think, I don't care, but I'm going to try this one more time, that it comes together. And when I had people coming to me as I was building the tower, well, the one thing that they said is, it looks amazing. They didn't know the work that I'd gone through. So just know that even if you've lost hope, you shouldn't, but if you've kind of lost hope or vision, keep moving, because the final product will be worth it. And you might have done such a good job that no one will have guessed that you were struggling. So tower energy, rebuilding, 3 to 4 iterations, be playful with it, a little bit of overtime and extra work. And by the way, when I was talking about the heart health, I forgot to hold up the card. Could be something in the structure of the heart, could also just be about overall stress release, could also be passion. So if we were to look at all of these kind of on the table together, I think many of you might have a breakthrough moment because of the attention that I was seeing. That's why you want to make sure that you put the extra work in, which we were just talking about, that no shortcuts. And the timing is going to be really important for these sorts of things too, because staying one step ahead. All of them together, though, it's really exciting and malleable energy, however you want to kind of use it. So let's look at the cards here, and we'll get some additional insights on how these channeled messages may come together. And I can't wait to see. It's always fun to read for Libra because of all the possibilities coming through. All right. Let me turn the camera down at this point. I'm going to shuffle the cards, get everything organized, and then after it's all laid out, we'll break down the meanings for you and the month ahead. I forgot to mention, as I was focusing on the tower, the one thing that I added to that sort of sculpture or whatever it was I was working with was the Eye of Ra. And as I saw the celestial card, that came to me again. So intuitive development is something also that's going to happen this month for you. And the Eye of Ra is just that Egyptian eye that you see, basically symbolizing the third eye. I actually had a card fly out, but I still want to give it a shuffle and see what else comes through. Okay, let's take a look at all of the messages for the month of July and see how this all comes together for you. Okay, so it's time to shine. This is what I was talking about, the attention, all eyes on you. And this is, if there was ever a time to be proud of what you're doing and really show all of your colors, that's what we see here with the peacock. So I love that. And there's also divine masculine energy that comes through with the peacock, because it's the males that have all the color, basically. So I would say don't be afraid this month, especially if you are, if you're someone who's normally conservative or kind of reserved in your energy. There's something this month that's deserving of you being a little bit more out there, a little bit more putting your heart on your sleeve, because it's the passion. And that's also something that I see with Peacock, is it's definitely a card that would show sort of like sensual, sexual, because when a peacock's showing its colors, it's also to attract a partner. And we got the Lovers, by the way. So part of you doing what you want to do is actually going to attract people to you. So the energy of the Lovers, it can be magnetic. And if you're working in a company, or if you're trying to there could be a cause that you're very passionate about, you're going to pull people in because of appealing to the heart space. And it's interesting. I was looking at basically a broken heart. That's another way that I could look at the symbology that came to me. So as you learn to love yourself, as we also learn to heal one another, I'm paying attention to this beautiful energy here of love without paying attention to religion or color or race or place of origin. I think this is a time when the world in general needs more love, right? And that's what we're seeing with this. So let's try to heal broken hearts, whether it's our own or whether it's the world or it's the planet. I feel like there's a chance for recovery and healing to take place, but it has to happen from the heart. And you have to feel the healing happen to yourself too. Once you start to show how happy or how passionate or how excited or whatever it is you're trying to put out there, that energy is going to be what magnetizes and also activates whatever it is you're working on, okay? Because the tower permeated your reading, both when I was visualizing it and as I read it, you have great ability this month to bring things together, to move them, to change them. So if you want to make change in your life or the world, you go for it this month. It's really coming through for you, okay? So that's exciting. Wherever places you felt stuck, you can start to move it, okay? I was super happy to see you come through in the center. We have the King of Swords. That's you, Libra. And the interesting thing on this particular card is you'll see that there are many different birds of prey. I didn't see this the first time I looked at it, but there's a dragonfly as well, which I think is a super positive symbol. For me, like dragonflies and hummingbirds are super high frequency and usually bring good tidings. But we see like a raven, a bat, an owl, a lot of different like hunting type birds, so or animals that are animals of prey. So for you this month, I think that if there's something that you are truly looking for and want to work towards, I've seen a few of these messages coming through for different signs. Don't be afraid to go after it, and that's what we're seeing here. Sometimes we have to be very clear on what we want, and this is a sort of solitary card here. So be strong, be communicative. Your voice, your words are going to be very powerful. And also with all the birds and flying animals, you're going to be looking at the different audiences that you have to appeal to. So particularly for those of you that might be working in some sort of corporate or political landscape, this is about trying to take one message and broadcast it in slightly different words or mediums to get to the right group of people. So it's kind of like, it's a multiple broadcast. And this is also why I might have seen you crumbling up the tower and working with it. Notice how this particular tower really doesn't have any form. And that goes with what I was talking about. All I see is I see lightning. Maybe it's a tree, but there's butterflies in it. It's like basically just the energy of creation and destruction, which was more what I was seeing in my meditation. So you are going to need to take one thing, work it through a few times. Maybe it's because there's different sort of distribution paths. Maybe it's because the message is going to need to be specialized for certain people. Maybe if you're a writer like I am, you just need to go through your work a few times, change things around a few times until you feel like you're done. But you have King of Swords upright, which is powerful. So your voice, your communication, you as a person, as a brand, you're front and center this month. All eyes on you. That's why you came through at the center. We have Six of Swords right on top of this. So for many of you, this could be a chance for you to decide to move on, to move away, to reach out. If you are someone who's looking for partnership or for distribution opportunities, this can mean like overseas. So there could be someone coming in from, the other side of the world or the other side of your particular country that you're in that will be a key helper, because we see both Two of Cups and the Lovers here towards the end of the spread. So I feel like you're actively manifesting and calling in some really key partnerships that are going to assist with things. There's a lot of movement that has to happen first with the Tower and the Fool. So some exciting things here, but your vision is going to be so important. It's almost like you're sending that out, like a message in a bottle when I see the two of this, because this is communication, this is distance and travel, right? Of course, for some of us, we're experiencing some sense of loss or transition. We didn't really get death energy for you. I didn't think we would, because I was seeing the tower. So I feel like you have choices in either leaving things or walking away from things or embracing new opportunities. I love that Swords in this deck is using birds, because that can show the ability for your message to take flight, for you to be empowered by thoughts. Thoughts take flight, they're powerful. So communication is really effectively displayed in this particular deck. All right, I think that for those of you watching me live, it's a busy time for you, or your mind is going a mile a minute. Because as we look in the deep past, we have the Eight of Wands. If you're watching this in the month of July, then you've probably worked at building some sort of a foundation, a firm foundation, and a lot of the tower work may have already been done by then. But Eight of Wands is good. This is telling me that really the focus is to try to maintain or return to some of this level of reliability and busyness and abundance. So I see the abundance in the past. You know, we're going through crazy times right now where, you know, if you are in a business or you're even looking at your own personal finances, they're going up and down and up and down. So, you know, the fact that you had something that was decent here tells me that there's a chance to get back to it. But there's a lot of personal ownership this month that, again, eyes on you and accountability, and also, what did I put here? Scrutiny. So we have the Page of Pentacles in the upright position, and pages, for some of you, this could be something new that you're working on or something that's been put in your lap. Notice how this person definitely takes ownership over it. And you can see them bringing it close to their heart, working with the passion that I was talking about earlier. I think all of that's going to be important to the overall success or the eventual success of whatever it is you're trying to create. This, of course, could be new love in your life. And we have a Page of Pentacles and a Queen of Cups. And so with that, it's pretty close energy. I only really pay attention to big differences if it's between like a page and a king or something like that. There's a big sort of May, December type thing. But what I do see with the page and the queen, there is a little bit of a gap of maturity or experience or age. And it might be something to be mindful of. For some of you, this could just be a really great mentorship opportunity, because with the Two of Cups, where we look at where this is taking us in hopes, fears, and opportunity, that's friendship, that's partnership, that's just having fun with somebody. So who cares? Whatever the difference is, it feels like there's some really great energy around it. The Queen of Cups is reversed in the crowning position. So if we look at it as an aspect of your mind, body, and spirit rather than a person, which is how I typically read the spread first, I would say the Queen of Cups reversed is saying, get back into your power. Notice how in the upright position, she's a receiver, she's a channel. When she's reversed, she's really in the role of giving, pushing, kind of emptying out her energy. So if there's anything that you need to release, sadness because of loss, sadness because of separation, then try to process that as quickly and effectively as you can, maybe leaning on somebody for support, as we saw with the Two of Cups, so that you can embrace the energy of the Lovers at the end of the spread, because that could hold you back. If you're feeling too much sadness, anger, grief, frustration, it's going to clog the mental sort of clarity. So we want to bring the heart and the mind together, because they're going to be a stronger muscle working together than if the heart is heavy or the brain is working too much. So we got to try to bring these 2 points together to focus, and it comes through your throat. So that's really what we want to focus on this month for you. Queen of Cups reverse is also saying, just take care of yourself. So I think that Libra tends to be a very empathetic sign. A lot of times people will lean on you, talk to you, because you're a good communicator. You're like a natural therapist. So no, it's okay to say no if you need to this month, and just push back a little bit. All right. I really feel good about, as we start to look in the near future here, everything that you've been going through, whatever sense of loss or shifting or movement there is here, it's good because we have the Three of Wands here in the near future. I want to pull it up right because this reminds me of the beach. I like it. What we see with this, though, is this feeling like I can take anything. This is a surfer. And I've been talking about being able to sort of like ride the energetic wave that we're going through in 2020. This Three of Wands is showing not just that I'm going to wait for it, but I'm going to go for it. This person's waiting for the right moment to go and chase that wave. A lot of times the Three of Wands, it's a great card, but sometimes it's too passive, right? Because the person's up on a cliff looking out, watching the ships come in, but they're waiting. This person isn't waiting. They're ready. They're acknowledging that something's happening, but there's a little work that they have to do, and they're going to go after it because they want it. There's a little bit more hunger and energy and sort of drive here. So the way that you can take it from the reverse state to the upright is to go after and ride that wave and go through those different levels of crash and burn that we saw with the tower here. But for me, it was playful. So to go back into the meditation that I was talking about, imagine that you're holding like a vision of what you want in your life, and you could move it around, or you could move it on the calendar, or you could make it bigger or make it smaller. Or if there was something limiting in your life, say it's somebody that's it's an external force, critical feedback, negative energy, limiting thoughts from people or society. Imagine you could go in their heads and rework it so that, or open their eyes, because that's the last thing that I added to the tower in my meditation. I was trying to find new supplies at the table to create the eye of Ra or Horus to put on top of that. And so for me, it just indicated the third eye opening. And so you could kind of like punch through the energy of the collective and say, no, this is how you see it. And that's what's going to happen, is there'll be a few waves of recognition with that. So there's some powerful messaging and alchemic energy coming through the sign of Libra. A couple months ago, I was dreaming of like thunder and lightning as well. So I feel like that's coming through into fruition here as well. So we're getting closer to that moment where you want to be ready to ride the wave. And if I look at a timing of the Three of Wands, so we're looking at July, August, September. September is going to be an important time, September, October. So you want to be ready for the last quarter of the year so that you can really kind of like hit it out of the park. So one thing that differentiates my readings too is I'm not just looking at this month. I'm not just looking at the here and now. We're trying to set the energy into motion for the rest of the year. And the reason we meet every month is because we're all working on this and it continues to shift. But you have so much power of change this month that I'm excited by the tower. I wasn't feeling at all nervous. It was just weird. I've never had a meditation where I was molding the tower. So you have a lot of power in this. If you know about changes going on in your life right now, or potential changes happening, maybe, if you're living in an apartment complex, maybe you've heard that it might be sold to a different company, or if you're working for a company, maybe there's a merger, or if you're in a relationship, you feel like your partner's upset and you need to have an important talk. Get ahead of these conversations, because if you can start, control, shape, and shift the narrative, then you're in a position of empowerment. You've maybe taken them by surprise, and that gives you a little bit more opportunity to present them with something before other people do. So I feel like you can get ahead of the curve by proactively, preemptively striking. And that's what we actually see with the lightning bolt. You're going to take that moment and say, this is the time, this is the way. And then you present something in a very sound and solid way. And you have the element of surprise on your side. And we see that also with we have two animal totems that came through in your destiny. The eagle, which we saw with the King of Swords, and the snake, which is powerful and also has the element of surprise. It can come out of the grass and all of a sudden it's there. So definitely surprise can be part of your power, and you want to use that this month. There's nothing wrong with timing. All right. Looking now at your environment, it's time to move on. We have the Fool card. So it's reverse, which for some of you means that there could be a hesitation. Can I take this step? Is it the right time? How do I do it? We all have those questions when we're faced with something new in our life. I like this particular Fool because she's stepping into a well of energy. It's not really scary. It's through a portal. So really all you have to figure out is, where am I going and how would I like to do it? And the timing should present itself naturally. I usually just, for this, also tune into my own body and think, like, how do I feel about this? Am I getting a good feeling? Am I getting really angry? Am I hot? What's going on with this, like, physically physiologically, mentally, energetically, and that kind of helps me figure out if I'm ready for it. Because you do have to be ready if you're going to take the initiative on one of these conversations and get ahead of it. You have to believe what you're saying for the other person to believe you. The good news, partnership is definitely something that's coming through loud and clear. I don't every month look solely at love. I look at everything in your chart, everything that could come through, but love is coming through. And I've seen that for a few signs this month. I think that because of some of the easing of social distancing that's happening through both June and July, I think that that's part of what we're seeing. People really enjoying being able to be a little bit closer, maybe not as many people, but you can be a little closer. But we have the Two of Cups, which can be love. It can be partnership. It can also be a chance for you to reach out and connect with people from across the world, because this to me is remote. And this is also, we can connect these two together. So for some of you, it's finding an audience or finding a connection that you never did before through the use of technology, through the use of a different channel. So definitely in business and in different types of communication, look at trying something new. If you're trying to market yourself, try a different social media platform and you may have more success on that. But overall, could love happen? Sure. And what we saw here again was a Page of Pentacles upright, a Queen of Cups reversed. So these two personality types, this is someone who's very giving, who is curious, who's grounded. This card is very receptive, but is also a little bit too busy giving to others. So there needs to be good boundaries this month between how much you're willing to do and how much you're willing to take. I think just making sure that you yourself are grounded and making sure that you're not over giving or overreaching is going to be super important. And now for the fun card, we have the Lovers. The card was reversed, but I like to put it in the upright position because it's one of the most beautiful lover cards that I think I've seen. What I see with this is kind of you getting swept up in the energy of love, getting swept up in the moment. I definitely get a feel for the passion here. And I love the colors that are coming through here with the beautiful sort of red energy here. So, I mean, that is your creative energy. That's passion. And so when I saw the heart earlier, this could be also putting that passion out in the world. And when people see that you're doing something that you love, they can't help but sort of to like want to take a second helping of that. So I feel that it's really important for you to be able and willing to go for it on all levels. So I think that it's really important for you to go after it. Now, the Lovers, if you're single and happy, it's attractive energy. If you're single and looking, the fact that it's touching the Two of Cups, very positive, very auspicious, very possible that you can bring in a key partnership this month. And for everybody else, if you're in an existing relationship, there could be something around expression that's coming through, particularly sexual expression. So, has the spark kind of gone out between you and your partner? Are you satisfied in your existing, or, like even just looking in the past, is there something about your way of kind of connecting physically that needs to change? With the Peacock, I can't help but sort of pull that energy, especially with the Lovers. And there's so much energy of like the first and second chakra here. So I would say there's something about sexual expression, sensuality for existing relationships that probably needs to be addressed. Maybe just how you're connecting on a personal level as well. Intimacy takes many forms. It's not just sexual. It could just be feeling and being close to your partner. But that energy is coming through for existing relationships. Okay. But with the Peacock, I feel like there's a playful way to kind of go about that. And I encourage you to do it. All right, let's go into the expanded forecast. I'm going to just take a quick drink here, and then we're going to look at health. Health includes mind, body, and spirit. Okay, so for mind, body, and spirit, we have the Celestial card, which helped me remember earlier that really the third eye is awakening for many of you this month. And this is a connection to the ascended realms and ascended beings. So angels and God itself, and also your higher self. This is a chance for you to really tap into that. The reversal of this may mean that a lot of this isn't necessarily like what I'm doing here. It could just be for your own spiritual development, your own ability to help you basically understand who you are. And so don't be afraid to go into that this month. We see that beautiful rose color in here as well, which is showing you, again, gentleness with the heart color with green as well. So really focus on opening up your third eye, opening up your heart space, and connecting that energy as well. That's going to help you with problem solving. That's going to help you with being able to relate to others. So yeah, spiritual development, heart healing as well. And the celestial energy on this is showing me that for some of you, in your dreams, in your meditations, just in your day-to-day life, you may start to have more sort of paranormal or supernatural experiences where you're just starting to open up and notice things, whether it's more clairvoyance or just signs and symbols. I've talked before about maybe you hear a certain song on the radio that reminds you of somebody, or see a license plate or a billboard, and the timing and the messaging on it just seems like it's more than coincidental. It could be the universe giving you a nod and saying, yes, keep working on something, or yes, oh, we hear you. So definitely some development there. Let's look at the cards themselves. I think this is an important month to make change when it comes to your health because of the Tower. Anything that you want to fix, I feel like you can. It may take a few attempts to get there. And we also have the Fool reverse, which can maybe show like one false start, or feeling like just don't beat yourself up if something doesn't work the first time. It takes perseverance, dedication, and over time, things are perfected. Nobody usually out of the gate is perfect. So give yourself and again, I saw 3 to 4 different iterations with change and with development this month. So be open and willing to do that if you can. The other thing, we talked about the heart when I was looking at the channeled message. Just focus on how you're feeling. Is it sadness? Is it like a broken heart? Do you have a family history of heart problems and you want to get more serious about taking care of yourself? Whatever it is, honor that. The heart space is where my mind went before I even did the reading. And those are the 2 main cards that I'm seeing here for the most part. All right, so let's move along to wealth. So we have the light field. I love this card. For me, this is about really making sure that whatever you do, maybe you're trying to have either a transformative or altruistic or helpful energy to it. So a lot of the people that watch my channel are fellow readers, are intuitives, are light workers, are also working on healing themselves. So what we see here with the light field is that you're being called to do more of that work. And make sure that if you're doing something, that you actually feel like it's making a difference. So I've had many jobs where sometimes I just look out the window and I think, what am I doing here? As I started to get older and I started to realize, life is finite, time is finite, it wasn't enough for me anymore. So if you're at a point in your life, whether it's school, career, or retirement, where you're thinking, I need more, I want more, I need to make a difference, this is a month to try to find your tribe, try to reach out and see what's out there, and make sure that you're starting to make some sort of an impact on the world. This to me is also kind of like that painting where it's almost like someone's taken a paintbrush and just smeared it or something. But I really like what you can change the world, you can change your perspective, you can change your trajectory. And the Tower card and this are kind of very compatible energies. They're all over the place. So feel free to kind of just shake it up and try something new. This is a perfect excuse because post COVID-19, we're still going through it. But, with this pandemic, it's changed the way we do business. It's changed many of our, even our jobs. Some of them have gone away or some of them have changed radically. So if you don't like what it's become, or you need to adjust after a period of change because you're underemployed, unemployed, or you quit, this is a good time to sort of take a moment and think, why am I going back on the same path if I didn't like it or it brought me to this point in time? Could I do something else? With what I'm seeing here, it may take a while for you to be able to go from point A to point B. So maybe, those 2 to 3 iterations could be a couple of in-between jobs that sustain and help you buy a little bit of time before you take that leap of faith. But ultimately, you want to be looking to the future, as we see with the 3 of Wands, projecting, planning, then actively pursuing. Looking at love this month, there is a chance to heal. We have a recovery card in reverse. I want to pull it up right so you can see it. But basically this reminds me of what I would see with judgment. It's like Gabriel communicating. And for some of you, this could be ancestral healing or healing love that has been lost, or someone that has passed and gone to the other side. So for some of you, there is a little bit of meditation that you're going to do, maybe with a parent or a partner, even unfortunately sometimes a child. We've lost a lot of people during this pandemic, and there is still an ability to forgive, to heal, and to love after death. Even more so because you have a captive audience on some levels. So you can say whatever you need to say, and there's just this unconditional listening that happens on the other side. And if you never had that when you were alive, take advantage of this now, or when they were alive rather, take advantage of this now so that you can affect some sort of a healing there. The other thing with this is just recovery after a period of sadness. So we have Queen of Cups, but let's just pull her upright, and the Lovers, and let's pull them upright. And what I'm seeing here is a chance to love again. Once you forgive yourself, once you forget about whatever it was that was kind of making you feel down, processing that and everything opens you up to new love in your life. And that makes me happy. And I think that's a hopeful thing. So if you've been waiting for someone too, Queen of Cups is a very gentle energy, by the way. To me, that is someone who has got an open heart, who is creative and understands your creativity, empathetic. And the only thing that I see with this Queen of Hearts is that they need some healing. So you may be playing more of that grounded energy that we saw with the Page of Pentacles. We also had a King of Swords at the center, so there's a little bit of both of these energies here. So I think that it is very compatible. It is a good time for love. There may be more than one partner that's coming through for you. Just make sure that you feel it, mind, body, and spirit. You shouldn't and usually can't fake it very well. So I think that when we're coming to love in particular in relationships, don't waste time with things that aren't kind of awakening you on all levels, okay? So physical is not enough, just spiritual is not enough. I feel like this month you're looking for the whole package, mind, body, and spirit. So in existing relationships, recovery. In people that have passed, recovery. In new love, definitely you're looking for someone who has recovered, who is in a good space. In order to do that, you have to be there yourself. So a lot of different messages to unpack, but overall it's good because the message is positive. And having the Lovers in the outcome is always positive. All right, finally, we talked a little bit about what's showing up here in Destiny. So let's talk about the Eagle first, connecting that to all the different swords cards that came through. So I like this. Whatever you put your mind to, we see movement. It's almost as if you become that animal totem, you become the eagle. And so of all the messages, one of them kind of breaks through and really gets out there. I see the third eye that I was also connecting with in my vision. So be very clear on what you're trying to do and what your vision is. And I think that's going to help. Again, with the Six of Swords, for some of you, if you've lacked success in one area, whether it's like geographical or maybe even focusing in something that you're doing in your life, maybe like a subject area, this is saying broaden out, go further, reach out a little bit more. And that's where you find people that understand who you are, what you're trying to do, and they kind of catch and ride your wave of ideas and energy. The other card here, the snake, and it's cool. It almost like points into an arrow here as we see it. This is about timing, power and timing, and knowing when, if, and how you should exert that power. So I think there's going to be some, at least one opportunity over the course of the next month or so where timing is everything, and using your words wisely is everything. And because we have the Queen of Cups in reverse, making sure that maybe you start by checking in with who it is that you're talking to make sure that they're okay. That's also going to be essential because so often, I think nowadays, especially, people they just talk and they're not looking. Sometimes they're looking at their phone, not looking at you. Take a moment, put everything down, really be present, actively listen. And then when you feel like it's time, go in there and really take advantage of the moment and see if you can create the change, the shift, or the recovery or the healing that you're trying to. But you have to be there first for that person, and you have to kind of open up your heart to understand where they're at. Let's take a moment to integrate. There was a lot that we just covered, and then we're going to go a little bit deeper and look at the soul, even though I feel like we've been doing that the whole time. We'll see if there's some things that can help you be more at peace or help with your healing. So let me turn the camera down. So the first message is all eyes are on you, and definitely see that with the King of Swords at the center here. You showed up front and center. There's some scrutiny, there's some exposure, but there's also a platform that many of you can use. From that platform, things can take flight, and we saw that they can quite effectively take flight actually here. The next message was to really not take any shortcuts. Quality is important. With that scrutiny, basically you are going to be the one that's going to have to describe or explain why you took a shortcut. So quality is important. Stay one step ahead of others, and the tower is going to help you do that. There might be a moment where you can combine the energy of the tower and the snake, which is recreating and then also making sure that you're not overthinking things. You're not missing a moment where you could take that leap and really be maybe the first out there, the one that's making changes happen. Look at your overall heart health, and one of the cool things here that's coming through is that it could just be healing a broken heart, and that's ultimately why we have the Lover's energy at the end. Beautiful card, beautiful message. Could also be something passionate that you want to create or do. With the fact that we see the Two of Cups here, we also see a lot of receipt or welcoming of that message. Finally, it is not sort of like one-stop shop when it comes to creative energy this month. You may have to go at something 3 or 4 times. That's about the amount of times that it took me to get the tower right. There's a third eye awakening and sort of like this epiphany or aha moment. So for those of you that are creative types, keep moving with it, keep working on it, put in that extra time, put in the overtime on something that you care about, and be playful. Try not to make it feel like it's work, and I think that's going to be key. Again, with all eyes on you, make sure that when your moment comes to sort of be front and center, that you take advantage of it, that you shine just like a peacock. So this is your moment to be seen, enjoy it. You worked hard to get there. Your voice, your vision, your expression is everything this month. I mean, it always is, but especially over the month of July. So embrace it. Reach out to a wider audience, as we talked about. If you are looking to find that sort of sustainability and busyness again, it looks like you can lean on some of those connections that you had from the past. But as we look at right here and right now, there's really a lot of focus on the heart, the Queen of Cups, the Two of Cups, and the Lovers. And they're kind of touching the change element here between the Tower and the Fool. Whatever you decide to put your mind to this month with the Three of Wands in the near future, you should find success on it. Page of Pentacles showing that investment in the change, and this Three of Wands being a very active one where that person's literally going to surf that energy or ride that wave. Queen of Cups, find a way to channel any sadness, any pain, any difficulty, and put it into something that makes sense for you, realizing that it may take a few times to understand what's going on, 2 or 3 movements or even up to 4 times to kind of talk it out, move through something, revise something. But that creative energy is going to be well spent because ultimately we see Three of Wands, Two of Cups, and the Lovers. You just have to take a leap of faith here, as we're seeing with the Fool. And that's what's, people may be waiting for you too, because with that Fool card reverse, this other person or this opportunity is kind of there, but you have to go after it. So this isn't a month to be passive, to go back to the energy of the Three of Wands. It's about you. You are front and center. You are accountable. You're making it happen. You should be guided by spirit, by the hand of spirit, by your own sort of intuition, third eye awakening for sure. Once your heart feels better, then your mind sort of clears out and you'll be able to see things. Focus on heart health overall and just feeling good about your heart. We talked about that earlier as well. Everything that you're doing should make a difference to yourself or to others. If it's not, it's time to look at the bigger picture with respect to wealth. We did get a Page of Pentacles. I didn't touch on that earlier. So I feel heartened by the fact that I see something positive with respect to money or resources. But the Tower shows me that what once was between the Page and the Eight of Wands, past, deep past and recent past, still feels like it needs to go through a period of change. So you still are probably at a fork in the road. Big message with relationships is recovery and improvement. Just decide how you want to do that and if you want to do that. The energy to do that is there. And the energy of the Lovers is also there. So it's really up to you to embrace it. And the Two of Cups as well. All right. Be clear with your vision. Go after what you want to. But I think that clear vision is super important. If you don't know who you are, what you're trying to do, nobody else will. So spend some time figuring that out. Especially to be prepared if somebody asks you, what do you want? So that you can say, well, this is what I want. It could be a boss, it could be a lover, it could be anybody in your life. You should be able to say that and have your terms ready. Then take advantage of the timing. You'll be prepared for it. You'll be able to, just like this snake, show your power, be respected, and make a difference, okay? I see snakes as power symbols. It's not something that really scares me, particularly because it's in your destiny sort of positioning. If it were in the environment, I would say be careful. There could be something sneaky going on. But because we have the eagle and the snake together, to me, that's vision and timing. And I think it's possible. And it's a positive sort of thing. There was a caption on this one, which was to shed your skin. So I think this goes into the energy of the tower that we just talked about, not limiting yourself. And there was a caption on this one that says, see things from the highest perspective or from a higher perspective. So clear your vision, stay in the highest possible energy, take a moment and maximize it. And also maybe that means that you have to really change who you are and what's going on and be willing to walk into the energy of the tower. But look, there's butterflies in there. It's not so bad, right? The squirrel looks a little nervous, but everything else around it seems fine. It's just really about being present and ready. And we saw also at the center the dragonfly. So we have several images of basically Genesis or rebirth, even with the Fool itself. So we didn't get death, but we got everything around it. And you have a lot more power here too with the way the cards are kind of arranged. So I'm happy with the spread for you. Let's go a little deeper now. We're going to look at the past, the present, and the future, see if there's any opportunities to help you be more at peace with things or to heal a little bit. And then we will go into a meditation and integrate all these messages today. Usually for me, the past indicates something that you need to let go of. So let's see what that is. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. So for you, if there was something that you either didn't embrace or didn't sort of allow to grow, like a seed of an idea, this is a chance to plant that seed and honor it. I love that pentacles in this particular deck often come through as like a bulb, a seed, or fruit. And that's really what it is. It's symbolic of what we want to do or what we want to create. So this is again showing, as I'm reading this, I actually feel an activation in the crown chakra and all along the side of my face. So for many of you, what you're going through right now is this sort of, it's like you're going back to remembering who you were or what's important to you. It's a rediscovery of something integral to who you are, but it's like a lost piece of your childhood or your soul. So if there's something that you always wanted to do, please, here and now, this is the time to do it, and really do it with love, because these two cards are definitely connected. You have to love yourself. You have to love what you're becoming. You have to love what you're doing. That passion is ever so important. I have a green thumb. I love working with plants. Outside, I actually work with some very finicky cacti. And it's about giving them just enough love, not overdoing it, but I will spend time there every day kind of putting the energy around them too, meditating a little bit. And it's amazing to see how they grow. So with your dreams, with your hopes, do the same. And if you didn't do it in the past, you're getting a second chance now. That's what retrograde's about. By the way, I didn't mention that we're in the retrograde. Makes sense since we have the tower here. So June 18th through July 12th is retrograde, and we're already in the pre-shadow. And for many of you that are watching it live, you'll either be, or I'm sorry, watching it during the month of July, you'll be in retrograde or you'll be in the shadow. So just be ready and embrace that energy of change. And that means second chances. So whatever you didn't do before, do it now. The time is right. Okay. Let's look and see what's coming through right here, right now. King of Cups. Okay. So the person that we were seeing in the crowning position, if it is a partner, or the energy of passion and creativity that we see, has a chance to be balanced. And this is a better match for you. So patience is important. I like the King of Cups, and I like the King of Cups and the King of Swords together, because same energy, same suit, sort of like the ability to kind of work together is good. And I love the sort of pensive, meditative energy that we see in both of these. What I like is that it's almost like you, Libra, are sending out your desire or your wish. What we see here is the receipt of that in the form of a ship, right? I think it's a ship. So know that your ability to manifest is stronger now than it's ever been. Some of you that might be looking for love will be reaching across like time, space, energy, and finding that partner and saying, I'm ready now. And then let it go a little bit. That's been sent out. It's like a message in a bottle. Get on with your life. We see the Three of Wands. In the next 2 or 3 months, you might see an answer to that. But it's very much like that Sting song, Message in a Bottle. He sends the message out, nothing happens, and one day there's like thousands of messages on the beach. Imagine that the same thing could happen, whether it's a creative idea and you want to put out like a book, a movie, and new music or something else, or it's a business and you want to see it, catch on, and you have all this new customers and everything. Realize that you're in the spotlight. So I feel like what you're trying to broadcast, it's being heard. Just imagine yourself as an old-fashioned radio tower or a satellite. It's going, and people are ready. The ones that are ready to receive it will receive it. So I see two patient people here. You being mindful and ready to kind of like put it out there, and the other person waiting to kind of catch this energy that now they've discovered. So if you see it, others will see it. If you love yourself, others will love you. If you can tune into that energy, there's something really exciting about the next 3 months in your life, okay? King of Cups. So put that passionate energy in that, and then know that, again, it's a very attractive force. I'm seeing, though, again, it could be different walks of life. You're pulling in a partnership or some this new sort of audience that's not necessarily from where you live. So I feel like there's a distance associated with this new relationship or this new connection that's coming in. It's not necessarily, right, your next door neighbor or something like that. All right, where's all of this taking you? So we have the Four of Swords. Be patient, rest. I like that this is actually in a nest. The card was reversed, but I want to show it here. And look at what she has there. It's her heart. She's kind of fixed the broken heart that I saw at the beginning. And the card was reversed, so it's just about being patient. Because the reversal of this sometimes is impatience or a lack of rest or an inability to sort of just let things be. So just like this, the song that I was mentioning, send out your dream, your aspiration, your hope. Keep working on yourself, and then allow the universe to come to you at that point. And then if in 2 or 3 months' time you're not feeling it, then go after what you want. There's kind of an ebb and flow with this. So send it, wait, and then keep pushing it. Remember, 2 to 3 to even up to 4 different attempts before it's perfected. But in between that is a slight period of rest and waiting. Then you go into overtime at one point at the end with the reversal of that. So I feel like it's 3 times that you try. The 4th time you push a little bit and then you let it go completely, and it's done. So if it's a relationship that you're trying to fix, if it's a project that you're trying to put out there, if you're just working on yourself, practice makes perfect, and eventually you find what you're looking for. So go back and finish something that you didn't before. Send out what you're trying to kind of have people receive, know that they're receiving it. Keep working on what you're trying to perfect, and know that after about 3 or 4 attempts, it's done. And then all that's really necessary is for you to kind of like make sure that you share it with people. And that's why the peacock came through earlier. Find out how to market, how to share, how to kind of say I'm ready. So really great developmental cards, and definitely room to heal the heart. That, I think, is the overarching message this month for you, is that your heart can be healed, and something beautiful can come in this space. To me, this is a card where you're holding space for like that egg, for something to kind of be birthed, and this is that. So for some of you, it's symbolic, and it's like a partner, not a partner, it could be a project or an idea or an improvement within yourself. For some of you, it's literal, and it could be a partner. No matter what it is, it feels like your heart is in a better place. So let's go into the meditation. Yeah, we're definitely going to work with some of the symbology that I saw in my dreams. I want to work with the tower. That was really powerful to me. So as I look at all the different cards here, I like being in that nest as well. So we're gonna send out the message, kind of like we're gonna work through what I saw with the King of Cups and the King of Swords. You're gonna broadcast, you're gonna imagine things being received, and then you're gonna focus a little bit on perfecting the message and waiting. Okay, so let me get the singing bowl set up. Before I get started, I'd just like to remind you, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, I'd love for you to do that right now. It definitely makes a difference in helping me kind of reach new people. And I noticed that like 50% of the people that watch don't subscribe. So please do that. I appreciate it. Okay. You can hit like, but I know sometimes it's hard to do on the live feed, so you can do it once it's on replay. Okay, so everybody, please get comfortably seated and do a quick sort of scan of your body. I always like to kind of give myself a gentle massage on the shoulders. You can also take your neck, gently move it in a circle. This isn't about showing off flexibility. It's just about kind of opening up this channel here a little bit. So just gently move it around one direction and then reverse once as well. You can go a little bit to the left, to the right. Take a deep breath, let it go, and close your eyes. Imagine yourself standing at the top of a hill near the beach. Here in California, we have something called the Palisades, where you can kind of see the hills kind of deteriorating a little bit, but it's kind of like you're at like the full cliff, basically, where you're looking out, and I'll pull this up and you can see what's available to you. So looking out at the ocean in front of you, I want you to simply tune in to a few of the different elements. We'll use the sun first. So as you sit down on the earth, I want you to feel the warmth and radiance of the sun shining down, opening up your crown chakra, opening up your third eye, your throat, and moving its way down each and every energetic system in your body beyond the 7 that we see and recognize, so that you're fully awake, fully receptive. So you are that satellite capable of both receiving and, more importantly, here in a moment, broadcasting. Feeling the energy of the earth beneath you, something that we saw several times in all of the pentacle cards here. Imagine that you could reach your energy down like roots of a tree into the cliff, so that you're not feeling like you're not going to be able to move, or I'm sorry, that you're not going to be feeling like you're going to fall or anything. You know that you're steady, you know that you're stable. And now just listen to the water as it moves in the background. Feeling that not only is it crashing and changing the beach in front of it, but it's also bringing a wave of energy and shifting sort of frequencies around your body. If you allow yourself to move into that frequency, you can start to become an alchemist and change who you are. So close your eyes and imagine that you step outside of your body for a moment, maybe taking flight like the wings of the birds that we saw. And I want you to look at yourself and think, what is it that I want to change? What is it that I want to be? And then I want you to imagine that you're sending that new vision through your third eye to the world at large. You're going to broadcast the new you. So you are kind of like this gigantic cosmic satellite that is going to point in the right direction, or maybe in a few different directions, and send out this message of love, of hope, of acceptance, of possibilities. And your vision will then become the world's vision as well. So you're going to move from that energy of the King of Swords to the King of Cups. You're going to be sending and allowing others to receive, and you can also receive as well. You can go between these two energies as we meditate. Close your eyes and listen to the sound of the bowl, and allow your thoughts to broadcast and manifest. Take a deep breath. Feel your wings stretch out, imagining that you are embodying that eagle spirit that we saw as well. Exhale. Take a quick look at the planet beneath you. Imagine that you're starting to see all of those different hearts healed, all of those messages received. See yourself now in the receiving mode to start to wait for that good news to come your way, for that opportunity to come knocking on the door. Expect the best, prepare for that, and be ready for that opportunity so that you can use the energy of the peacock, the snake, and the eagle that came through, these wonderful animal totems that are bringing you blessings and insight today. Hold space in your heart and open your eyes when you're ready. Welcome back, everybody. Such a beautiful reading today. Messages started coming in very early too, like 3 in the morning for me. So I'm happy that I was able to be a channel for Libra, and I hope, I can't wait to kind of hear how some of this works out for all of you. For anyone that was kind enough to use a super chat earlier, thank you so much. Again, what you see here, this new singing bowl, was a direct result of your generosity. Also, for those of you that are supporters on Patreon and who give a one-time contribution, thank you as well. It makes a big difference. If you would like to find out more information about who I am and what I do, please check out my website. Here it is. It's nicholasashbaugh.com. Everything that I'm about to go over is on that website. I know my my moderators have put out the link a few times, and you can, again, just Google it if you need it. But from there, you can follow me on social media. I have the same username on Facebook. It's at Nicholas Ashbaugh, and same thing on Patreon as well. Patreon is a way that you can give back like $1 a month and just support content like this, which I provide for free, and let me know that it makes a difference. And I keep upgrading my equipment. I got a new computer. I got a new singing bowl. I did that through the help of you. And I need to do stuff like that. Otherwise, stuff gets outdated. So thank you, everybody, for helping me stay up to date. Again, on Facebook, I will use stories, and I will do the same on Instagram. I have a slightly different username on Instagram. It's Nicholas_Ashbaugh. It's a great place to just see slice of life photos too. I put a lot of pictures of Apollo there, so he's right there today. I just let him kind of chill out. But if you enjoy seeing my dog, check out my Instagram. There's more pictures of him there. Twitter is @nashbaugh. And if you want to help me through PayPal, this is the address. It's paypal.me/Nicholas Ashbaugh. And again, that's on my website. So I just want to say thank you so much to everybody. Ryan and Maria, thank you for helping me organize and hold space today. I see we had a lot of people that show up today. A few left after the meditation, but I saw that there was a great amount of people there today. So thank you so much for showing up. And if you're watching this on replay or in the month of July, thank you so much and good luck. There's a lot of positive energy. Have fun with the tower. Imagine that just as we were kind of going in and molding what you could be, you can do the same too. The tower doesn't have to be scary. This is a chance for you to creatively move through things and then broadcast. So as I was starting to go in it, that's what my guides were sort of saying more. Focus on the vision and the broadcasting, and then just holding a little bit of space, okay? Thanks so much, everybody. Let's see, we're on Monday. So I will be back later this week. I know that Ryan's already put my schedule out there, but you can check my website out. Thursday and Friday, I will be back with new broadcasts. So until then, wishing you much love and light. Thank you so much. Take care of yourselves and have an amazing month ahead. Until then, be well, and I'll see you soon, okay? Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.